So our bodies are extremely adaptive. If we go to gym and we're lifting heavier weights, our body is going to adapt and it's going to become stronger. If we're eating a lot of food and we're training a lot, our body's going to adapt. Our body is, we're putting our body through a lot of activity. We're feeding it more food. Naturally, our metabolic rate is going to increase. The same is true for a caloric deficit. If we're going to eat at a lower caloric amount for prolonged periods of time, our metabolic rate is going to adapt to that. It's just the way the body works because we are so extremely adaptive. Okay. So this is calories on the left-hand side and this is time. Now, this is just for information purposes. This is not an accurate depiction of time. Okay. The depiction of calories may be more accurate though. All right. So what happens? This is your maintenance calories that you've just worked out, your current metabolic rate. I don't want that to be right. Your current metabolic rate, your maintenance calories is what we've worked out. So let's say it's 1800 calories. Because you know that and you want to lose weight, well, now you're going to put yourself in a 500 calorie deficit. This is your new diet. This is the amount of food you're going to be eating. Now, what happens is over time, because your body is adaptive, your metabolism is going to decrease while you are losing weight. Okay, so during this time, yep, you're going to lose weight. Okay, because you're eating less than what your metabolic rate is. Now, if you're like, oh, I've eaten in a calorie deficit for years and years and nothing's changed, I'm going to explain to you exactly why. And this is exactly why, okay? You eventually get to the point where the amount that you are eating now meets your body's metabolic rate. So basically, you are now eating at maintenance. And this is where you hit a plateau. And this is where things get frustrating because you're like, oh, well, it was working for me. And now all of a sudden it's not working anymore. Why? This is why, because our bodies have adapted. So what do you naturally do? Next step is naturally you're going to drop your calories again, right? Because that's what helped you lose weight. So now you drop your calories and this is going to be your new diet at 1,000 calories. But what's going to happen? The exact same thing is going to happen because why? Our bodies are extremely adaptive. So again, your metabolism is going to drop. So this green line met this blue line. And in order for us to lose more weight, we've got to drop our calories again. Okay, so this is weight loss. This is good. We want this. But the problem is now we are at 1,000 calories. So if we're following the principles of how to lose weight, which is eat less and move more, what do we do next? The natural next thing is, oh, well, we've got to drop calories some more, right? So that we can create that gap so that we can lose some more energy. But we are not eating 800 calories. I don't know about you, but eating 800 calories is not enjoyable or sustainable. And it's why I refer to this area as being in diet jail. Because you are stuck in this place of having to eat ridiculously low calories to get any response out of your body. And what's going to happen here? You're just going to give up. It's not sustainable. And then you go back to the way you ate. You're going to eat here at 1,800 calories. And what does that mean? It means that you're just going to go and put on all the weight again that you've lost. You're just going to shoot up. Boom. And that's where a lot of people just get frustrated. Or you're just resilient and you get stuck eating here. But when you're eating this ridiculously low amount of food, your body starts breaking. This is where you get hormonal imbalances. Systems in your body are not working properly because you're not correctly nourishing yourself. Okay, so this is just a more neat diagram of what I've just done. You can see metabolism is decreasing. The green is where you're losing weight. But eventually you just get stuck at this point where you've got to eat too little food to see any changes. This is another way to depict it, right? Extreme diet causes your metabolism to slow. You hit a plateau. You then fall off because nothing's working. Then you're going to return to dieting, another crash diet. But when you return to dieting, your metabolism is lower than when it first started. And you basically get caught in this downward spiral of having to eat less and less food to see any changes in your body. Okay. So what's the solution? This is exactly why I have created the 4R transformation system. It's to prevent you from getting into that situation, or if you are in that situation, getting you out, and basically teaching you how to sustainably lose weight and keep your results for the rest of your life. Okay, so how does this work? We start with phase 1, which is the rebalance phase. This is important because we are correcting hormonal imbalances, which could be caused from chronic under eating, over dieting, but we're also going to repair metabolic damage. Okay, so which means that we've damaged our metabolism. It's so super low. We've got to repair it. We've got to bring it back up. But there's a lot of things that we need to do to just rebalance and realign our bodies to actually start working again. That then allows us to go into the second phase. The second phase is the revitalize phase. This is where we need to establish a new metabolic set point. We need to reboot, reset, increase your metabolism so that we're going to, when we now make adjustments to see huge change in our body, it's happening at a higher food rate. And this is where food freedom comes in. When you're eating more food, but seeing more change, that's what we need to get to. But we have to go through this process of revitalizing first. So we're going to fix the damage. get our body working the way that it should be, correct hormonal imbalances and any other damage that chronic dieting has caused. We're then going to revitalize your body. We're going to increase your metabolism, reset things, get you eating more food. We use very specific nutrition and training strategies to implement this correctly. Then guess what? Once we've got your metabolism back up to where it should be and your body's working the way that it should be, then we go into the reshape phase. This phase is all about body composition change. This is where we put you back into a healthy caloric deficit, and the fat is just going to melt off your body. Because we've done the hard work in these two stages, this is where you see huge change in your body. The mistake that a lot of people make is when they start their journey up here, they want to go straight into this with an extreme caloric deficit, and it just causes havoc, right? It puts you back into this cycle where you're just stuck, miserable, in diet jail, and nothing is working for you, okay? This is where you want to be, where you are, instead of having to eat 1,000 calories to lose weight, you're eating 1,800, even 2,000 calories plus, and you are seeing the fat dripping off of your body. This is what I've done for so many of my clients. I know that this works. The system is game-changing, okay? The last phase is the retention phase. It's giving you the keys to your body, teaching you how to do this so that you know how to take yourself through your phases of your nutrition and your health and your wellness plan on your own, so that you never end up in the position of being in diet jail and just not seeing any changes in your body. Okay, there's a big health component to this whole process. It's not just about body composition change, it's about keeping you healthy. Okay, so I want to give you the keys to your body, teach you how to do all of this so that you can not only get to your goals that you want, have the life that you want, have the body that you want, but you're going to retain it. It's going to be sustainable. Okay, now the food and energy balance part is one part of the equation. Okay, there's 4 other huge things that I work on with my clients. Nutrition we've spoken a lot about, but even within nutrition, there are strategies. Depending on where you are in your process is going to dictate how you approach your nutrition, where you need to start, what macro splits you need to focus on, nutrition timing, what type of diet. All these things go into the planning of nutrition. But more importantly, it's doing all these things in an enjoyable manner, because guess what? If you're eating an enjoyable diet, you're going to be able to sustain it for longer. And if you can sustain an enjoyable diet for longer, guess what? That's where you're going to get results at a sustainable rate, because you've made this a lifestyle. So within nutrition, there's a lot to consider. Okay, then obviously training. We know that training is a huge part of this equation. But again, how do you need to train? What's realistic for you? Let's start there. How many hours in a day do you have? How many days a week do you have? Where do you feel most comfortable training? What do you enjoy doing? Should you be doing full body? Should you be doing split days? Should you be doing cardio? What sort of cardio should you be doing? There's all these answers, all these questions that need to be answered. And it's going to be very dependent on you as an individual. What's your journey been? What's worked for you? What hasn't worked for you is going to dictate how you should be training to get to your goals. Mindset and psychology is absolutely huge. Okay, this in itself is a whole training that I'm going to do. But what I work through with my clients is understanding what your health blueprint is. Okay, what drives your decisions behind your eating and your training. If you're somebody that can start a diet, no matter how good the diet is, how good the training program is, but no matter what, you just cannot seem to stay consistent, even though it's an enjoyable process for you, it's something in your health blueprint that is blocking you. Your health blueprint refers to the way that your mind has been conditioned from a very young age to look at things like food and training and your health and your wellness. An example is, I grew up in a home where I could not leave the dinner table if my plate of food was not finished, or I was rewarded with dessert for finishing my plate. So what does that do to me? Now, because I've been conditioned like that as a young person, every time I go out to a restaurant, well, guess what? It's a challenge for me to now finish this plate of food. So you're actually giving the keys to your body to that restaurant or to that chef, because no matter what they put on that plate, guess what? You're going to make sure that you finish it. Understanding things like this is going to dictate how you move on from here on with your relationship with food and your body and with training. Okay. If you're rewarded with dessert after every meal, well, guess what? After every meal, you're going to be craving some sugar. You're going to be craving that dessert as a reward because you cleaned your plate. Those are 2 examples. Your health blueprint goes super deep. And again, it's very unique to you. Okay. I help my clients through this on a very intimate basis. I ask the right questions, but I've also got the tools to break free from this conditioning from a very young age. And it is a game changer to reestablish your relationship with food, your relationship with your body, and your training. Okay, and that's obviously where the accountability and support factor comes in. There's no shame in asking for help. This process is complicated. Okay, you've got your own life to live. You are a professional at what you do. I don't want you to have to take the burden on your shoulders of having to figure all this stuff out on your own. Putting together a nutrition plan that takes in all the calculations we've just gone through in an enjoyable manner, working out your macros, working out your micronutrients, that's a job on its own. Working out your training program, job on its own. You cannot be your own psychologist. You cannot be your own mindset coach. You cannot do this stuff on your own because you are wired a certain way. And it's very difficult to get yourself out of that. And that's where the value of coaching comes in. Okay. Understanding this process and through this 4R transformation system, this is what I'm good at. This is what I do for people, right? People just like this. I've helped hundreds, thousands now of people get into the best shape that they've ever been. And all these people came to me with the same struggle. What they were doing was not working, not seeing changes in their body. What they were doing when they were younger is just not working for them. Okay. This is real change. This is me here. I apply all this stuff on myself every single day. And we've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people do this. Okay. So the point of this training was to show you and teach you what goes into this process and give you a starting point. If you are somebody that you realize you need the accountability and support, you need somebody to do all of this for you so that you don't have to do it, I'm going to offer you the opportunity to get onto a consultation call with me. Okay. Let's get on a call. Let's discuss, see where you're at, see what you need. And from there, we can put together a strategy for you. Okay. Nothing I do is generic or copy paste because quite honestly, it's going to be very hard to design a full-fledged system like this for the general population. Okay, I don't do that. The reason I start with a call before I work with anybody is so that I understand where you're coming from and I understand where your starting point is, because then I can put together a strategy for you. Okay, if you're looking for somebody to be like, hey, I'll help you for $500 or $400 or $300, whatever the case would be, is whatever the price tag is, like, try and find somebody else to coach you, because if they can give you a price up front and say, hey, this is what it's going to take up front without even talking to you, they're just giving you a generic plan. Okay. I don't do things that way. I want to talk to you face to face and understand how I can help you, talk through the details of that, make sure that you're comfortable and understand what that's going to look like for you before you make any decisions. And that's why I start with a one-on-one call. If you want more help and you're tired of struggling, and this is for people that understand the value of coaching and that you want to get from where you are to where you want to be in the fastest way possible, but the most sustainable way possible,